A rugged man, resembling a tough guy from the streets, rides the elevator up in a fancy Chicago office building. He walks into an office where a frightened woman sits. The other man reassures her, suggesting if he wanted to hurt her, she'd be done for already. He hands her a bullet, asking her to identify its maker, claiming it killed his buddy. The woman admits she can't tell much from the bullet. Suddenly, a laser dot appears on her forehead, and she's shot from a nearby building. The man spots 4 shooters on the roof and dashes out of the office. In the hallway, he calls the elevator to give himself space for a running start. His heart pounds, and his reflexes seem superhuman. He sprints down the corridor like lightning, crashing through a window with his head. As he hurtles through the air, he takes out 3 shooters. Impressively, he even curves a bullet around a corner to get one of them. Landing on the second highest floor, he swiftly deals with the last shooter. Answering the shooter's phone, he warns there's no escape from their group and sending sheep to kill a wolf is pointless. He receives a response saying they were just a decoy. Glancing down, he spots the X-Men emblem under his feet. Suddenly, a vintage bullet hits his head, moving backward to reveal the intricate shot. It appears the bullet is designed in stages, similar to a rocket. The shot came from miles away, fired by a guy named Cross. 2 weeks later, Wesley's girlfriend wakes him up, furious about their living situation near the noisy subway. Wesley, an ordinary office worker, suffers from anxiety, which he controls with medication, causing apathy. He's oblivious to his girlfriend cheating with his friend Barry. Wesley can't confront them about it. His boss criticizes his slow work pace. He grapples with existential questions about his father's abandonment, which occurred soon after his birth. During a panic attack at work, time seems to slow down as his heart races. After his boss leaves, Wesley takes sedatives. Later, he finds his bank account nearly empty. Buying more pills, he notices Cross, the man who killed someone on the roof. Turning, he sees Angelina Jolie staring at him. Uncomfortable, she claims to have known his father, killed recently, with his murderer behind him. She pulls out a gun and starts shooting at Cross, sparking a gunfight in the store. Wesley is hit by a sudden panic attack. He tries to flee, but the unfamiliar girl stops him. Then she whips out the corner shot gadget and blasts the mirrors to disrupt Cross's search. Seizing the moment, Wesley bolts outside. Cross tries to nab him in the van, but the girl skillfully whisks Wesley into her flashy red Ferrari. The chase is on. Hanging out the windshield, the girl shoots at the van while Wesley and Jolie take turns driving the car. Meanwhile, Wesley marvels at the sights. Suddenly, a police squad blocks their path. Quick on her feet, the girl leaps behind the wheel and sends the Ferrari into a spin. The car hits a drain, flipping over and landing on a bus. Afterward, the couple continues their nighttime escapade, but it proves too much for Wesley, and he faints. When he comes to, he finds himself in what seems to be a textile factory. He tries to leave, but tough-looking men block all exits. Then, the girl from the store appears, and Wesley desperately insists he's just a regular office worker, utterly uninteresting to anyone. "I'm broke," a man with a gun says, handing Wesley a firearm. He orders Wesley to shoot a fly buzzing around a trash can. Shocked by the demand, Wesley hesitates. The man ups the ante, telling him to target the fly's wing instead. Feeling a gun pressed to his head, Wesley faces the ultimatum: shoot or be shot. Driven by panic, Wesley's reflexes kick in, allowing him to track the fly's wing movements. After firing 6 shots, he rushes for his medication, but the leader stops him, revealing flies with clipped wings. Discarding his pills, he explains Wesley's rapid reaction as a surge of hormones triggered by his racing heart. It's not a panic attack but an inherited power from his father. Wesley feels like he's losing it when threatened with a gun by a guy named Sloan, who introduces himself along with Angelina as Fox. Sloan claims Wesley's wasting his potential working in an office instead of unleashing his power. He offers Wesley a chance to avenge his father's death by killing Cross. Sloan reveals the gun Wesley's holding belonged to his dad and that all his father's money is now in Wesley's account. Wesley hopes it's just a dream, but finding the gun in his pocket in the bathroom snaps him back to reality. He hides it in the toilet tank. Checking his account at an ATM, Wesley discovers over $3.5 million. At work, he reads about his father's murder and gets reprimanded by his boss for not finishing a report and wasting time online. His boss threatens his career, but Wesley stands up to her, exposing her flaws to the department. He grabs his keyboard and leaves, then smashes Barry's face for messing with his girlfriend. Feeling pumped, he sees newspapers covering his recent adventure in a store. Fox picks him up, and he happily joins her in the car. She takes him to a weaving factory, where Wesley learns they're not just a cover but expert weavers, calling themselves the Fraternity of Weavers. As Wesley heads to the factory canteen, he realizes they're the actual weavers. He refuses to go back to his old life, and Sloan assigns Fox to train him. The training starts rough. They tie him up and start hitting him, demanding to know why he's there. He's clueless about their intentions and insists he didn't come to get beaten up. Later, a butcher tries to teach him knife fighting, showing no mercy. Wesley ends up badly hurt. He wakes up in a bath filled with paraffin. Exterminator, the guy taking care of him, explains it's to help him heal. Wesley figures out he's Russian when he's offered vodka. Firearms training is also intense. Wesley learns to shoot curved bullets, not just straight ones. This routine of getting beaten up and then healed repeats every day. Cross keeps taking out members of the fraternity one by one. Sloan believes only Wesley can stop him. Fox then asks Wesley to catch a shuttle moving fast inside the weaving loom. She suggests putting a gun to his head to test his reflexes, but he needs to learn self-control. Wesley fails and hurts his hand during recovery. The Russian guide demonstrates a trick involving a rat and a small bomb. He attaches the explosive to the rodent and lures it with peanut butter, causing it to explode. He mentions that Wesley's dad enjoyed this trick. Concerned about Wesley's odd behavior, he asks if he's okay and what they've done to him. Meanwhile, Fox emerges from the nearby bathtub and urges Wesley to join her for training. This time, she personally beats him up and questions why he's wasting her time here. Wesley finally admits he wants to discover his true identity. Later, he meets Sloan, who talks about his father, showing Wesley his belongings. Inspired, Wesley puts on his dad's jacket and vows to live up to his legacy. With a newfound purpose of avenging his father, Wesley's training gains significance. He endures all challenges without complaint, absorbing information about his enemy. Training tirelessly day and night, he exhibits the dedication of a Shaolin monk. Even when faced with a skilled knife fighter, Wesley emerges victorious, breaking the trainer's bones in the process. Now it's Wesley's turn to confront him. The only thing he struggles with is bending a bullet. Fox steps in to assist him, standing in front of the target to inspire him. With a sense of duty, Wesley successfully curves the bullet around Fox's head and hits the bullseye. Moving on to his first task, Sloan guides him to the loom. They discover that the names of their targets are woven into the fabric of fate by the loom. Their ancestors in the fraternity cracked a code to translate threat signals into binary sequences, which are then used to generate the names. Wesley receives the name of his first target. Fox accompanies him on this mission, riding on the train roof. As they approach the target, Wesley hesitates to shoot. He closes his eyes and recalls a conversation with Fox from the day before. He inquired how it was doable to end a person's life because of some cloth's command. Fox then shared the tale of a young girl whose dad was a judge, righteous and honest. Once, he was handling a case involving a notorious criminal. The accused preferred a different judge and dispatched a murderer named Max Patrick to his home. This assassin incinerated his victims and made their kin witness it, then etched his initials on their bodies to ensure they'd never erase that horror. When Fox became part of the group, she learned that the loom predicted Max Patrick's involvement before the judge's murder, and someone failed to act. Hence, the group's motto became, "Kill one to save 1,000." After sharing this tale, Fox left, leaving Wesley to notice Max Patrick's initials tattooed on her neck. Determined, Wesley resolves to take out the businessman with a curved bullet. He receives one mission after another, hoping each time that Cross's name will appear. Unable to take down the businessman alone, especially with him riding in an armored limousine, Fox aids by using her sports car as a ramp. Performing a somersault over the limo, Wesley manages to shoot through the open sunroof, hitting the target. Post-mission, they head to Wesley's place to retrieve the hidden gun from the toilet. However, he finds his friend Barry now living with his girlfriend. Knocking out Barry with a move at the door, Wesley rushes to the toilet while his girlfriend throws insults at him. Fox grows weary of her constant screaming and decides to boost the guy's image in front of his ex. She passionately kisses Wesley, and they depart together. Barry, trailing behind, commends Wesley for his newfound confidence. In a moment of panic, Wesley accidentally shoots an exterminator, feeling stunned by his error. Cross retaliates with a curved bullet, hitting the exterminator's shoulder. Wesley wakes up in a recovery room, witnessing the failed attempts to save the Russian bro, who succumbs to his injuries. Fortunately, the bullet removed from Wesley's shoulder bears a traceable mark, Pequarski's craftsmanship. Pequarski is employed at a monastery in eastern Arabia. Despite the dangers, Wesley insists on going alone, convinced it's a trap. Reluctantly, the fraternity agrees, but Wesley persuades them of his readiness. Finally, Sloane hands him a canvas with Cross's name on it. As Wesley departs, Sloane entrusts Fox with a canvas bearing Wesley's name, instructing her to eliminate him once he's dealt with Cross. The man reaches the monastery and encounters Pequarski. He acts like he's fleeing, but then tricks Wesley into a trap. Luckily, Fox, who was keeping an eye on Wesley, arrives to help him out. Wesley displays the bullet and asks where to find its owner. Pequarski assures them he'll set up a meeting. He leads them to the train station. Pequarski waits for Cross, while Fox and Wesley wait in hiding. Suddenly, the old man starts to bolt. The duo pursues him with a side view. Wesley spots Cross in a car. He hops onto the train while Fox goes after Pequarski. The train departs, leaving Fox to realize Wesley is now facing Cross alone. She borrows a beat-up Soviet car from an elderly couple. Pequarski rings up Cross, saying Wesley's on the train solo. Cross grabs the guy and wants to talk, but Fox catches up in her rusty old car, which seems to be souped up, and shoots at Cross. A gunfight ensues on the train, but Cross deflects bullets aimed at him. Fox's makeshift vehicle rams the train, causing it to derail and hang off the bridge. Wesley nearly plunges into the abyss, but Cross saves him, sacrificing himself in the process. The man shoots his foe, causing the entire car to plummet and wedge into the ravine. Before dying, Cross discloses to Wesley that he's actually his dad, and the fraternity kept this truth from him. Doubting, Wesley asks Fox, who confirms Cross's revelation. Wesley was the one Cross couldn't bring himself to kill, the others just couldn't reach him. He realizes his name was also exposed by the loom and narrowly escapes Fox by shattering the glass, plunging into the river with his father's body. Wesley wakes up in a recovery tub in a nearby house. He overhears his girlfriend chatting about how upset she is for losing such a good guy. Pequarski reveals how his dad always watched over him, hoping to steer him away from the violent path and the Weavers. He hands Wesley a piece of fabric with Sloane's name on it. The loom unveiled his name, hidden by Sloane. Cross discovered Sloane's misuse of the codes and left the fraternity, vowing to dismantle it. Wesley uncovers a hidden passage in the closet, finding a stash of explosives and detailed plans. He heads to the store and stocks up on peanut butter. With it, he attracts rodents into a waste vehicle. He infiltrates the plant and sets loose his explosive rodents. Once the rats finish their task, he storms into the building, shooting down everyone in sight. He's wielding his weapons like leading an orchestra, perfectly timing each move. He faces off against the butcher, surprisingly resilient, but Wesley manages to thrust a sharp blade into his chest. Eventually, he confronts Sloane. Wesley finds himself surrounded by the remaining fighters, including Fox. He reveals that Sloane was scared and hid the truth about the loom's choice, deciding to silence the only witness, Cross. The members of the fraternity demand an explanation from their leader. Sloane presents them with a folder containing the decoded names from the fabric. All the fraternity members are listed. He tells them they can blindly obey the loom's orders or end it all by putting a bullet in their own heads. Alternatively, they could betray Wesley, seize power, and rule the world with their skills. Afterward, he exits, leaving them to ponder. All the fighters choose to follow Sloane and eliminate Wesley, except for the devout Fox, who shoots a bullet in a circle, ending their lives, including her own. Wesley tries to chase Sloane, but she disappears without a trace. Feeling lost and tired, he heads to the ATM and finds his bank account empty. A few days later, back at Wesley's workplace, everything seems normal as if nothing unusual ever occurred. Suddenly, Sloane surprises Wesley with a vintage gun, the Glitcher M712. But when he turns around, it's not Wesley but a decoy. Looking down, Sloane notices the Professor X logo beneath his feet. A classic-looking bullet swiftly hits Sloane's head. In reverse, we see the bullet's entire trajectory, passing through the boss's donut and into Barry's energy drink. The shot originated from Wesley's father's house. Turn on alerts, like, and subscribe for more videos similar to this one. Thank you for watching.